Hello, Lakers Nation. Welcome into the LakersNation.com podcast. It's game day. Lakers, Raptors tonight. The road trip continues. Can the Lakers pick up a big, important win in this one? See if they can move up the standings. We're aiming for that 7 or 8 seed in the Western Conference to at least get into double elimination territory in the play-in. Joining me today to help preview the game, it's Luca Rosano from Raptors Nation. Luca, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Trevor. As always a pleasure being on the show with you. And another Lakers-Raptors matchup that we can dissect.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun. Now I know the Raptors are kind of in a little bit different part of their season right now in terms of what they're looking for, and we'll get into that in just a moment. But guys, if you're interested in the Raptors at all, if you've checked out the Raptors, you're following the team a little bit. Luca does a tremendous job over at Raptors Nation. I'm going to put the link to the YouTube channel down in the description. You guys can go check that out. Also, RaptorsNation.com, the website. They do an absolutely fantastic job. Luca, I know this is your first full season doing Raptors Nation, and you've been doing a phenomenal job covering this team.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot coming from you. And it is my first full season with the team. And of course, it's when the Raptors are about to endure one of their worst seasons in franchise history. So it's kind of just how it worked.
It's the way it goes, but they can certainly turn things around quickly. I know they've got a lot of draft picks and things like that. But let's talk a little bit about what we should expect to see tonight. Now, from the Lakers side of things, this is pretty important. Cam Reddish is out due to personal reasons, so I don't know exactly the extent of what's happening there. Hopefully, everything's okay with Cam. Gabe Vincent is out. I know Lakers fans, you're rolling your eyes right now. Oh my gosh, he came back for one game. He's back out again. Easy. He's okay. It's just a back-to-back thing. The Lakers play tomorrow against the Washington Wizards. It's only because it's a back-to-back. They're not having him play in the first leg. Should be just fine to go against the Wizards. Anthony Davis and LeBron James listed as questionable, but that's nothing new. They're always listed as questionable at this point. But I am expecting to see, with Cam Reddish and Gabe Vincent both out, Max Christie probably get some more opportunities. And I know that's something a lot of us have been asking for. So maybe some opportunities here for Max Christie in this game tonight. Luca, how are things looking from the Raptors side of things? What's their injury report at the moment?
Yeah, so sorry, Lakers Nation. I know the Raptors have had a bunch of key guys out, but
Let me guess, everyone's returning.
They actually have some guys coming back, which is great news if you're a Raptors fan, because this team's going to be a lot more watchable, but bad news for Lakers fans. Yes, Immanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett, they were in return to conditioning protocol. They are probable for the Lakers game, so they, in all likelihood, will be suiting up, and it'll be great to see them back in action. Both players having some time away from the team. Immanuel Quickley with the passing of his uncle, and then RJ Barrett, unfortunately, with the passing of his younger brother, Nathan. Also, to add to that, Gary Trent Jr., though, will be out against the Lakers. It's just going to be due to rest. He banged up his knee in the Raptors' last game, so they're just being, cautious with him. And then Okai Abaji will remain out as well. And then, obviously, Scotty Barnes, still recovering, had surgery. He's not going to be in this game, and no Jakob Poeltl. So, still a lot of the Raptors starting lineup out, but RJ and Immanuel Quickley coming back in. So that's going to be a huge boost for a Raptors team that is looking to end their 13-game losing streak.
So you mentioned 13-game losing streak right now for the Raptors. Not where I think initially thought this team would be going this season, but they are getting some guys back. This is where they're at right now. This is your, post. I keep wanting to call it a tweet, but your post over on X. The Grizzlies beat the Pistons. That was last night. If the Raptors lose to the Lakers, they'll have a 2-game lead over the Grizzlies for the 6th worst record with 7 games left. So that's where the Raptors are at right now. Wins or losses, and losses or wins. Is most of Raptors Nation kind of on board with the tank and watching the standings and trying to get as far down as you can to improve your lottery odds, or are a lot of people still gung-ho about trying to win games?
No, they are, Trevor, about, trying to get that 6th worst pick. I think the tide turned officially when Scotty Barnes and Jakob Poeltl went down. The team just reeled from that point on, losing a bunch of games. And now with 8 games left on the season. Raptors with that 6th worst record. Everybody, it seems, or most Raptors fans, it seems, are in favor of losing these games. Still putting out. You want to see guys play hard. Put up a competitive fight, but ensure that they do finish with the 6th worst record and gives them a good shot of keeping their 2024 first round pick. So if the season ended today, the Raptors would have about a 46% chance of keeping that first round pick. So still, a good chance all this losing could result in nothing, which would be pretty detrimental for the Raptors, because they would then owe the pick to San Antonio if it falls to number 7. And a lot of Raptors fans, they want that pick at the end of this season, because it's been a tough one. Obviously, a lot of losses, guys out, and right now this team could use the talent of a top 6 pick. Even though, this draft hasn't been regarded as one of the best drafts, there's still an opportunity where you can land a player who can help this team, even if it's just as a role player.
Yeah, and it could be a trade piece too if the Raptors decide to use it in that way. What happens to that pick if it doesn't convey? Let's say the Raptors keep their pick, then what happens? Does San Antonio get it the next year?
Yeah. So basically, if the Raptors keep their pick, then the Spurs will be getting it the next year, and then or 2026. It really is one of those things where I hope this isn't the case for the Raptors, but if they bottom out, let's just say the next 2 seasons after this, so that would be 3 seasons in a row, including this one, they would owe the Spurs 2 second rounders in 2026. However, if they keep this pick this year, then they would owe the pick to San Antonio in 2025 or 2026 if it's outside of the top 6.
Okay. So it can ultimately turn into second rounders, which isn't ideal, I know, because it means you're down at the bottom for a little while, but at least you could rack up some draft capital. So looking at this game tonight, what are you expecting to see? Immanuel Quickley coming back. The Lakers, they have struggled a bit with quick guards. And I mean, as the name suggests, we know Immanuel Quickley can have blow-up performances. He's already done it. He's done it at least once so far this season when the Lakers saw him. I believe he was with the Knicks at the time. But what do you expect from him? That's the guy in particular that I would be, from the Lakers side of things, concerned about, particularly with Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, no Gabe Vincent to defend him, maybe some Spencer Dinwiddie minutes on him there. What are you expecting to see out of Quickley in this game?
Yeah, I think, Quickley has an opportunity to pick up from where he last left off. He's been on a bit of a heater since the All-Star break, which has been great to see. On the season, averaging 17 points for the Raptors, 6.6 assists, and it's been those assists that have really been stand out for Quickley. We know him as that guy who could pull up from 3 and just getting going with the Knicks. But the Raptors, he's really bought into the point guard role, getting his teammates involved, and also just being that point guard who can not only, splash a triple, but really puts pressure on the opposing defenses and gets to the rim. And I think that quickness is really going to be needed from a Raptors team that has been very, very stagnant offensively. And they have had trouble putting up points, and they have had big trouble with their 3 ball. I mean, in their last game against the 76ers, the Raptors couldn't buy a 3. So Quickley coming back in, instant offense, instant 3-point shooting. And also he's going to give more stabilization to an offense that has looked very, very scattered and disorganized. And, he's going to be able to add some fluidity to a Raptors offense that has not looked good, to say the least, as of late.
So the Lakers right now are a heavy favorite for this game. I believe they're a 12.5-point favorite. Obviously, there's some question about LeBron, Anthony Davis, maybe some anticipation there that the Lakers could sit one of them or maybe even both of them because it's the first night of a back-to-back, and sometimes they don't play in both legs of that. But what do you see happening from this game? Like, what should Lakers fans really be watching for from this Raptors side if they're going to give the Lakers a run here?
Yeah, I think, having Quickley and Barrett be away for so long, they're going to be fully rested. They're going to want to let loose. I think Quickley's going to have an opportunity where he's going to, get his offense going. But then I really look for RJ. I think RJ, is going to be the X factor because he's been playing his best ball. He was in a rhythm. He had 20 plus point performances in 20 or more games since coming over from the trade. And that's been a guy who has really seen his efficiency increase since joining the Raptors. He's been also able to get to the free throw line a ton, and he did have a good game against the Lakers the last time these two teams met. I know it was kind of a controversial finish with the foul call not going the Raptors' way. But Barrett did have a good game in that one. So I think those two guys are going to give the Raptors a chance to be competitive. I don't think the Raptors are necessarily going to win this game because they need other guys to step up, and not having Gary Trent Jr., obviously Scotty Barnes and Jakob Poeltl is going to be tough. But I think what's going to be key here for the Raptors is to get that three ball to fall. And, they did fight last game, and they were able to get key contributions from guys who I think you got to let go for in this game. Jordan Nwora, he's a guy who's potentially playing for a roster spot next season, even though he's an unrestricted free agent this summer. He was a piece in the Siakam deal. He's trying to finish up the season strong. He had 19 last game, so that's a guy that you got to let go for. And then Grady Dick, he's somebody who could be fighting to potentially, make a case to be a starter for this team next season, as Gary Trent Jr.'s future is currently up in the air with this team. So Grady Dick has had some nice games as starters have been out. It's given him an opportunity where he can shine. So I think, those players in particular will give the Raptors a chance to maybe give the Lakers a run for their money. And that's considering if the Lakers are going to be playing LeBron and AD.
Right. Yeah. We'll see on that. They get listed as questionable for, just about every single game. Occasionally AD will pop up as probable. That's as far as the Lakers will go with him, though. So we'll see exactly what that looks like once we get closer to game time. What about, Kelly Olynyk is a guy that has a history of having some big games against the Lakers. He's done some things on a number of different teams. How's he been fitting in so far with Toronto?
Yeah, I got to give Kelly a lot of credit because, he's been having to go up against the opposing team's starting center. Obviously, the Raptors are very, very thin at center right now. Their starting center, Jakob Poeltl, is out. We all know what happened with the whole Jonte Porter situation, ongoing gambling investigation. So Kelly's been that Iron Man, and he and Grady Dick are the only players that have played in every single game for the Raptors since the All-Star break. So that's how injury riddled this team has been. And Kelly has done a phenomenal job in that role. And the way he's been able to fit in with the Raptors, he gives them that much needed stretch five and something they haven't had in a while. A guy who's able to stretch the floor, hit threes, hit shots. And I think that's somebody who you got to look out for because Kelly's been playing actually really well lately. He's coming off 18 points, 11 assists, 5 rebounds, and almost triple-double against the Sixers. And it's been that facilitating that's really allowed him to open things up for the Raptors a little bit. So I think now that you have Kelly, RJ, and Immanuel Quickley there, that's going to give the Raptors, 3 credible playmakers that can do some damage.
Yeah, and that's going to be the challenge for the Lakers defensively. They've been really struggling on the defensive side of the ball lately. They've been a really good offensive team, particularly when they can get the threes to fall, which they have been, which has not been their MO for years and years. But now suddenly they've got the three ball falling most nights. We did see one a few games ago against the Pacers where they couldn't get anything to drop, but they have been pretty good shooting the three. But if they're going to be able to win this game, it's probably going to be on the offensive end where they're going to have to do a lot of their damage. And then trying to keep, Kelly Olynyk, RJ Barrett. If you have Olynyk, Barrett, and Quickley all go off, which we've seen in games against the Lakers, it has happened. That's where suddenly this thing could get a lot closer than certainly anybody's predicting right now. So definitely something to keep an eye on. Those 3 guys, can they get going? Anybody else that the Lakers should be, that the Lakers fans should be aware of or should be worried about or keeping an eye on in this game?
Yeah, Garrett Temple has done a good job in terms of eating minutes. I got to give him a lot of credit. He's been that veteran guy that's really been the journeyman. But another guy I'm going to say that you got to look out for who's been getting a lot of minutes with guys in and out of the lineup is Javon Freeman-Liberty. He's been another guard for the Raptors who's trying to make a strong case for himself to, remain with this team past this season. So I think that's another guard who can, apply pressure, get his offense rolling. And he's somebody who's been doing a really good job, especially with the guards that have been out for the Raptors. So it'll be interesting to see if the Raptors are going to, integrate him as much as they have been, even though Quickley's coming back. But Freeman-Liberty has been the starter for the last couple of games, and he's been really racking up a lot of minutes. And he's been doing a good job of finding his offense when, again, this team it's been a chore at times for this team to score the basketball. So that's another guy I would chalk up, especially with Gary Trent Jr. I would know Okai Abaji. It's going to come down to, the Raptors end of the bench guys who are going to have to be a factor in this game if they want to win. So Jordan Wara or Javon Freeman Liberty, I think, can leave their fingerprints on this game if they can get hot early.
So what's your ideal outcome here? Is it the Raptors pick up a win and they snap this losing streak, or is it they play great and they lose by one? Which we've been there. We were there. The Lakers were there years ago. We were praying for Brandon Ingram to become the guy, or Lonzo Ball to become the guy, and we were looking for losses and all that. Where are you at right now? Would you like to see a Raptors win in this one?
I've been Team Tank for a while, I'd say. And I'll give you this one, Lakers Nation. I think this is one that I would not be upset if you guys win, because right now, I think it makes sense for the Raptors to try to keep that first round pick. They would have up to 3 picks in this upcoming draft, and it's about next season for this team. And I do want them to land that top 6 pick, because I really think it will help this team, especially with the core growing as they have been with RJ Immanuel, Scotty Barnes coming off his all-star season. I think the Raptors could be back in the mix next season, certainly as a play-in team. I definitely don't want the Raptors to sabotage what has been a pretty masterful tank, if I may add, and start winning games all of a sudden here with 8 games left. So, this is a team that I don't think they want to reach their all-time franchise losing record of 17 games, which if they lose this one, they'll be closing in on it. But I don't want them to win this game. They can win the games against the Wizards and the Nets.
You're hoping the Grizzlies pick up a few wins, give you a little bit more separation. Then you can go ahead and pick up a win here or there. All right. Well, this is going to be, I think, a fun game tonight. Again, you've got a few guys who have a history of going off against the Lakers. RJ Barrett, Immanuel Quickley, Kelly Olynyk going to be in action tonight. The Lakers defense will be tested in that regard, but this is also a game where the Lakers, they're the heavy favorite right now. They need to get out there, take care of business, especially with what happened. The Suns, unfortunately, from my perspective, got the win over the Pelicans. I know there's still a few Lakers fans who think the Lakers can catch the Pelicans for some reason. I don't see it at all. It's like a 3-game gap right now. They're not catching them. But the Suns, we need them to start losing games. They've got to start dropping games. And unfortunately, they've just beat Denver. They just beat the Pelicans. Now, some teams have got to step up and start handing some losses to Phoenix. The Lakers have to keep pace by picking up this win tonight. Luka, as always, great stuff, man. Appreciate you coming on and shedding some light on the Raptors and what's been going on up north.
Appreciate you, Trevor. Anytime you want me coming on, I'm more than glad to do so. And best of luck, Lakers Nation, with your playoff push. And hopefully we'll see this team make another run, just like they did last season.
Yeah, hey, it'd be fantastic to see. It's certainly what we're all hoping for, that LeBron, with how well he's been playing, that they can make this push here. But again, guys, you can go check out Raptors Nation. Go give them a look, raptorsnation.com. You can also check out the Raptors Nation YouTube channel. I'll put the link in the description down below. Again, Luka does a phenomenal job there, and we certainly appreciate him coming on. So, Luka, again, thank you so much.
Thanks, Trevor. Appreciate it.